Millbrae, when I was growing up, start from the beginning. I was born in Peninsula Hospital. My parents had the Chapel of the Highlands way before I ever came along. So I came along in 1960. They had been building up the Chapel of the Highlands, and we were living in San Bruno on Parkview Drive when I was little. But because of the chapel, I was always back and forth. Millbrae, Chapel of the Highlands. My dad was focused on being a Millbrae Lion, past president of the Millbrae Chamber of Commerce, and a lot of other organizations. Well, that's kind of where I came along, and I ended up doing what I'm doing now, kind of following in his footsteps. Well, when I was growing up, I assumed everybody's father owned a funeral home, which wasn't the case. But it was nice having experiences, and it sounds a little bit odd, you know, regarding a funeral home, but a funeral home is a place where you meet people in the community. You're helping people in the community, and I was doing that from a very, very young age. My dad instilled a sense of responsibility to the families that we serve, and those families over the years have been grateful. They come back to us year after year when the need arises, and they know that we're there to help. And I learned that starting off when I was a kid, learning about the families, communicating with them, and I realized that I was good at that. We ended up building a home in Millbrae, and then when we moved in there, I was embedded in Millbrae after my parents died, and I felt like it was needed that I should follow where my dad left off. Like I said, you know, he was a Millbrae Lion. Shortly after he passed away, I was asked to join the Millbrae Lions Club, and I did. And I joined other things too, Chamber of Commerce, where my dad was, and I felt at that point that it was something that was necessary. After a while, I realized that it wasn't something that was only necessary or something that I should be doing. I really liked it. I liked being part of the community. I liked knowing all of the people that are good to know in the community. I liked having people think of me as being a participant in the community. I knew I was a lion. That's a pretty common term. A lot of our past district governors have brought up the point that you knew that you were a lion when you had kind of a little spark in your head. I realized I was a lion when I discovered that I was following in the footsteps of my dad, but also following in the footsteps of lots of other lions that were his contemporary. People that had been in the Millbrae Lions Club for decades, people that I heard their names when I was growing up. Everybody who's watching this video knows who those lions are. And when I realized that I was doing the same thing that they were, helping the community and participating, helping the Lions Club, etc., that kind of made me realize, you know, this is something good. This is something that is needed, and it made me feel good to be somebody who helps. I have been a past president. I've been chairman of a lot of various events over the years. I'm still chairman of a good number of things that don't necessarily show up in public. A lot of things I do behind the scenes. Like, for instance, I'm currently involved in the Peace Poster Contest, which is an international competition. Starts off at the club level. I've been involved with Taylor Middle School regarding not only the Peace Poster Contest, but we also have an essay contest that we've been doing since the early 1960s. My dad was involved with that, and I helped learn about that project from him. It was an honor to be nominated for Man of the Year, and I wasn't only nominated by the Millbrae Lions Club, which was a very, very big honor, but also the Italian Catholic Federation Branch 403 at St. Dunstan's, which I'm president of, and also the Millbrae Historical Society. And it was just an honor to be nominated. But to actually get this award, I mean, that's icing on the cake. Just the nomination was good enough for me, and I was very, very proud of that. The Italian Catholic Federation at St. Dunstan's, years ago, maybe about 10 years ago, Nadia Holliber, she was a former Millbrae mayor, and we were at an event, and she said, "Paul, there's an organization that we would really like you to be a part of, the Italian Catholic Federation." And I said, "You know, I'm not Italian," but she goes, "It's okay if you're Catholic, that's fine. We need people." So I was there, a lot of nice people were there. They had a lot of good food. And I said, "Sure, I would love to belong to this organization, meet new people," which I like doing. I like meeting new people. And then it got to the point where they had asked me to step up and become a member of the board. And I felt kind of funny because everybody else was Italian. I mean, everybody was Italian. And the president at the time, her name is Carla Del Carlo, very Italian. Her husband Adolfo, both very Italian. And she said to me, she said, "Don't worry about it." And she waved her arms, said some magic words in Italian, and she said, "You are no longer Paul Larson, you are now Paolo Larsoni." So I laughed. I said, "Okay, with that, I'll accept the position." So it was kind of a funny story. I like that, but I was honored. She made me an honorary Italian. So I've been on the board for a long time. I was first vice president for years and years. And then past year, I stepped up as president, and I'm enjoying it. I like the position. Like I said, there's a lot of good people that you get to meet, and it's good to know all of the people in the community, along with other communities too. So, first vice president, Millbrae Historical Society. I do whatever our president, John Muniz, tells me to do. I have been involved in the Historical Society for a good number of years as a trustee. And we do a lot to promote the history of Millbrae. The history of Millbrae is very interesting. There's a lot of people who have a lot of historical knowledge in their memory who are no longer with us. So that's why we need to continue on, promote everything that has happened in the past. Putting together a schedule and trying to have time to do all of the things that I'm involved in. I mean, there's a lot to do behind the scenes, and I want to try to participate in everything, but it's not easy to do that. But most of the time I'm able to work everything in. People ask me, "Can you help out on this project?" And I just say yes, and I just think later on how to do it, because people are relying on me. I mean, I want to be responsible, especially when there are people that are counting on me to help them with this or do something with that. There are people that are surrounding me that really help me and make me look good. I mean, these are the people that deserve the credit for doing what needs to be done and backing me up. I really, really appreciate that, and it's something that I am grateful for, and a lot of these people deserve to be Man and Woman of the Year. Let's put it this way, my outlook might make it seem that everything is very, very smooth, because it's easier to accept things the way they are. It's easy to accept things and just deal with them as they come up instead of, getting upset about things. That doesn't help. And people have told me that too. "How are you so positive?" It's just easier that way. Negative doesn't really work well for me. So the only other choice is to be positive, and that's what works for me, and I'm able to accomplish a lot that way. Sometimes I think, are people annoyed by it? Which it could be annoying, to some people, especially if somebody's in a bad mood and I come walking up, "Hi everybody, how are you?" I'm positive. But people do ask me that, and I just tell them that's just me. And you know what? It helps, going back to the chapel. People say, "We have had such a positive experience with the death that just occurred, our family member that passed away. And because you had such a positive outlook, you were very, very friendly, you were very, very helpful, it was comforting to us." And I'm just being myself. I'm just, it's just common courtesy. But positive outlook just makes things easier to deal with. Be there for each other. Making the community a better place and being a part of the community and being there for each other. Neighbors helping neighbors. And people helping people, that will help the environment, that will help our planet, that will help the future. So just loving each other, helping each other, I think that's the key.